Firefox out of here. I don't mess with Firefox.
What do you mess with? What's your browser?
I'm a Google Chrome guy now.
Man. Come on. You gotta get out of there.
I have so much RAM. I got so much RAM that I'm like, I don't mind.
I hope, because Google Chrome is
all
like,
of
it needs like 64 gigabytes of RAM to run Chrome.
It does.
All right.
It's absolutely devouring it.
Nom nom nom. All right. Hello and welcome everybody to episode 123 of the GGG Podcast. As always, I am Paul, and I am joined by my co-host Phil. Want to take some time to apologize for the lack of posting, especially during the Summer Games Fest. Phil and I have had major life things going on right now. And so I've been in the process of moving, which is why my backdrop has changed. And Phil has been getting married. Congratulations to Phil. Woo, woo,
Yeah,
woo, woo, woo.
suck it ever. For those of you listening at home, I'm flipping off the camera with my ring finger to show you that I did it. I did it, everyone.
He did it.
Yeah, no, it was a lovely time. I missed the pod. I missed all of you, and I missed you, of course, Paul. We can talk about some game stuff because Summer Games was crazy.
It was.
Holy smokes.
It was. There was a lot of announcements and a lot of gameplay, which I always love to see instead of just, trailer after trailer. So tons of exciting stuff. We do not have time to talk about every little thing that came out in Games Fest. So we're going to be hitting 5 major announcements from the big 3 companies, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on. But before we do that, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to the GGG Podcast, please do so. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're listening to the audio-only version on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, follow us over there as well. Phil, have you had any time to play any games while you've, been getting married? Yes.
I had a combination of no time and then a combination of all the time in the world of play games. So I played, while I was gone, I played a lot of Absalom on the Switch. There's a new update with new challenges in there. Great game, of course. I've also been playing a lot of 007 First Light since we last recorded. I have thoughts about that game. It's pretty dang good considering I don't care at all about James Bond, but I like this game.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. New Cyclops character is actually a very good DPS. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of Battlefield 6. I'm trying to just get really good at camping. And what else? Too much, honestly. I played a little bit of the Grain Rot demo as well, which I'm trying to get Paul to play.
Yes. It's free. Why not?
It's free. Get in there, everybody. Jump on in.
Yeah. I haven't been playing that much either. Been playing lots of rematch because the World Cup is going on. And so, very much into that, into the soccer spirit, the football spirit. So I've been playing that, and there's like a new season that started up right with the World Cup. And there's like this big event that they're doing in game where you can pick with which country you play for and like earn points and whatnot. So I've been having some fun with that. And then I've played a little bit of Space Marine, but just because there's been some updates and whatnot, a little bit of Space Marine, a little bit of Helldivers. But that's pretty much been it. I've just been way too busy. So, and then just watching all of these amazing gameplay videos. So why don't we dive directly into that? So first up, we are going to hit Nintendo Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Are you excited, Phil? Is this a game that you played growing up?
I was not an Ocarina of Time kid. I was a Sega person. I was on that line of development. So I went from the Genesis to the Saturn to the Dreamcast to the Xbox because, of course, the Dreamcast is where Sega went to die. But I missed the N64 era. So I did get to play some Ocarina of Time on the 3DS when that remake happened. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I have never... it's never been like one of my core memories in gaming. So I'm excited for the remake, but it doesn't like hit that chord for me. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get to play it this time. And it won't be like a 20-year-old remake by the time I'm playing it so that it seems kind of old. Like if they update it, excellent. I don't know. What about you? What did you get from the trailer or the announcement?
I didn't think it was a good trailer, to be honest. I think if you remove the fact that it's Zelda Ocarina of Time, it's like this is just like any other trailer. It's really it might as well have been a title screen, you know.
Yeah.
For me personally, like I'm glad they showed some elements and they showed Link's character design, character model. So that was cool, but I really would have liked to have seen just a little glimpse of like the starting area or something like that. Just to get a feel of like, what is this game actually going to look like? Because that's really the draw of coming back for a remake is, you know, I want to see everything dialed up with the new technology. I want to be able to see details that I wasn't able to see when everything was in a bunch of Nintendo 64 polygons. And so I was a little disappointed with the trailer itself, but I think this is a huge win for Nintendo. I think they know that millennials, people our age, grew up playing this game, and you just have to play that little ocarina. And as soon as we hear that, we're like, okay, I guess we're buying a Switch 2 now. So if you haven't been convinced,
we're all going to get to the water temple and quit at the same time. That's what our entire generation is going to do.
I wonder, and so I think that's an interesting point, because obviously there's been a lot of memes going around specifically referencing the water temple and the struggles of that hellscape. But I'm wondering if they will do any quality of life fixes in the game, or if they're going to try to keep it as true to the original as possible, because like there's things that they could do that would make the water temple easier, and probably some other parts of the game as well. What do you think? Do you think they'll mess with that, or keep it classic?
Very easily, I think they could and they will. Like they have to, because they made the first game the first game they remade on the 3DS. Which was, I think, a really great way to experience it personally. It was a lot of fun, and it works great as a handheld game because you're like solving a puzzle, put it away, come back and play more, blah, blah, blah. That said, I don't think the design mechanics behind the game work anymore if you're doing like a full console. Like, this is the type of game that, at least from the prestige they're putting on it, that you are going to be playing for the most part on your couch with a controller in hand, like fully like getting lost in that world. That seems to be the resonance they try to put on Zelda. But yeah, they're gonna have to update it. I mean, they already did just a straight up remake. We need an updated remake, or a remaster. We need a remake, Final Fantasy VII style.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, all right, they didn't make our list today, but I was just like, how many of these games? I bet you they get to the end of this one and they're like, just kidding, there's actually more game left.
No, spoilers for a 30-year-old game, but they get to the end of the game and then all of a sudden Aerith like busts through a door and she's got like an eye patch and she's like, I didn't actually die, you're in a time loop, and then the game cuts and then Final Fantasy VII Part 4 happens, and you're trying to fix the time stream, and then it's actually Kingdom Hearts, which also got announced.
Yeah, I thought about putting that in. Just to let's talk about it just briefly. Kingdom Hearts came
up organically. We have to.
Yeah, that trailer. What was that trailer? That was awful.
Stupid. It was bad.
That was so awful. Like I want to go with the opposite critique of the Zelda trailer and just be like, just give me a title screen. I didn't want to see all that.
Ain't nobody trying to look at all that Kingdom Hearts.
Nobody trying to look at that. What was that? These like textureless creatures and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah. It looks. I mean, they announced it at Nintendo Direct, right?
I believe so, but I mean, the Kingdom Hearts is coming out. I think it's coming out on everything: Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
did they only show it running on like a Switch 2? Is that the you know what I mean?
I don't know. But even for a Switch 2, I was just like, this looks like a Switch game. So
yeah, it looks like an unfinished Switch 2 game. At best, a pretty good Switch 1 game, but
yeah.
Oh.
Nope. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, let's press forward into Microsoft's presentation, who I actually think had a pretty good showing. I think it was a pretty great Games Fest in general.
Hmm.
But graphically, what they really wanted to show off was Gears of War E-Day running in the newest iteration of the Unreal Engine. So that was really cool. I have a lot of feelings about Gears of War E-Day. I am a huge Gears of War fan. But at the same time, I feel like the universe has been stuck in this like circle loop where they don't know what to do with it next, and that's why the plot in Gears of War 4 and Gears of War 5 was so like lackluster, because they're just like, well, we have to keep the gameplay going, but in the story we killed all the enemies, so just kidding, all the enemies are back and they look exactly like the old enemies, so the gameplay can stay the same. So I'm a little tired of the franchise, but at the same time, I'm like a slut for the franchise. It's one of, it's like Starfield. It's a very toxic relationship, and so I will say the improvements that they did show off in the gameplay trailer do look really cool. I like that they're finally adding a jump button. You can vault over things. There's multiple levels to cover that you can get behind, which was also in the game Crossfire that I saw at Summer's Games Fest as well, which looked cool. So I'm glad people are playing with that. For me, a high level AAA game that shows a lot of polish is one that gives attention to animations and like
Yeah.
showing that, oh, okay, you're laying on the ground as opposed to crouched up against another perfect rectangle that you can take cover behind. I think that looks really cool. So I'll probably be getting this. Phil, I know you're not as big of a Gears of War fan as I am. Did
Hmm.
this look impressive at all, at least graphically, or what were your thoughts?
I would say for Gears of War, like I played the originals. I was a big Gears of War 1 and 2, and I think to a lesser extent 3, and then afterwards like a steep dive off a cliff
Sure.
in terms of interest. But Gears of War 1 has a very special place in my heart, and E-Day I think is a really cool like conceptual place to be for the game.
Hmm.
Um, that said, the gameplay also looks really, really cool. Like, it looks like old Gears of War, but a little bit more fluid, which is kind of what I'd be looking for in a new Gears of War game.
Yeah.
But then with a lot of added features, like kind of in the old days when a video game sequel would happen, it would be like, oh, it's the old game, but this is a new thing that
Yeah.
we've cooked into the game.
Yeah.
And this feels like that with the mobility and the different layers of like combat happening on different height levels and being able to lay down and like crawl.
Yeah.
So very excited about it. I feel like it's been just enough time for me to be like, oh yeah, I need a new Gears type game in my life,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I
there's
like
no.
I like the aesthetic being a little less militaristic. Like the when you meet the characters in the beginning, they're all like in leather jackets and like they were just having
Yeah.
a normal day
Civilian clothes.
being the cast of Roadhogs. But then yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked about it. Not like incredibly, but I will get it because it's gonna be on Game Pass. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get, and it is a console exclusive. They did announce that, so it will not be coming to
Oh
PlayStation. So
yeah.
which has not been the Microsoft trend thus far. So that's very interesting.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it looked really good. I think exactly like you said, it's just building on its predecessors. Which I really think gameplay wise, the last two Gears of War games did not do at all, which was
Hmm.
really irksome. Like I remember the big addition of Gears of War 5 being, oh well, there's open areas of the map you can explore now. And like that was cool,
Yeah.
and I'm not putting that aspect of it down by any means, but the fact that there were no other gameplay changes other than that, it's like you're too
Yeah.
scared to change the formula at all, that it's holding you back, and it's like I'd rather just play Gears of 3 if we're just going to do the same thing all over again. So um
Yeah.
glad to see changes, glad to see the new Unreal Engine, all the fancy lighting systems and everything like that. I'm definitely going to be picking it up. This is a day one for me. Yeah,
Hmm.
let's press on to Microsoft's other big game that they showed off, which is another classic from when we were young, and that is Fable. This was a long
Mhm.
showing. They had a 30-minute Fable walkthrough. I thought it was very
Yeah.
impressive. Just what you start this one off, Phil. What did you find interesting about the Fable walkthrough?
Well, Fable is for me. Fable has, I think, a bigger place in my heart than Gears. And again, this is Gears was Xbox 360. Was that the first Gears game? I believe it was.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Fable was original Xbox. It was the coolest RPG you could play on an Xbox at the time. And it had I played black and white like barely on my computer. I love
Hmm.
the system that they had for what's the morality system in the game, how that
Yeah.
would affect the gameplay and what your character was like. And everything they've shown about this new system just makes me more excited about it seems a little bit more nuanced. Uh, I am bummed that you can't grow horns by being evil, but the world that they're building with this new Fable game looks pretty incredible. It almost like the promise of the original Fable game being you could drop an acorn and then come back in 20 years and your character will see a tree. This doesn't seem like that because obviously that was an insane thing to say, but this does seem like building in that sort of the place of what you do in the world has effects on the people that you run into, and yeah, so I'm very excited about it. What did you feel about this walkthrough?
I thought it was great. And I think it's not often you see a gameplay walkthrough where the focus is not on the combat. So I thought that was fantastic. They really just showed what Fable has always excelled at, which is just it you can interact with so many different things, and so it's like all of the npcs you can interact with, they all have personalities that you can interact with. Any of the businesses in the game, you can buy that business, you can run that business, you can hire people, you can fire people. It's you can romance any npc you want. I thought, I will say, I thought that was impressive but a little gimmicky, in the sense of are there characters that have more dialogue that you could possibly romance, or is I think it feels a little um not Stardew Valley, because I think the characters are too deep in Stardew Valley, to Stardew Valley's credit. But it felt a little okay, this is just somebody that I can romance, but I want deeper writing for that. And so him showing the
Yes.
date going on, it's okay, but I don't really know this person, and so it doesn't really feel like a dating sim or anything like that, but whatever. But
Yeah.
I
It's like
love
a
the
kind of a more shallow version.
yes, it's a little shallow, but I understand you do want to streamline things when you have a million different things that you can do. So I understand that from a game development perspective. So, but I really liked it. I really liked the graphics. The art style really reminded me of Hogwarts Legacy, like a next leap up above Hogwarts Legacy as far as the detail and everything. The design was fantastic. And then with the morality system that you talked about, Fable has always been very black and white, or, good and bad and all that stuff. And this goes much deeper into what people think about you and the adjectives that they use. It's oh, he's virtuous, or
Yeah. He's kind,
he's
compassionate.
yeah, he's kind, compassionate, he's reckless, that kind of stuff. And so I like that. I like that detail a lot. And I like that at least the narrator, that I guess there were two narrators in it, but they seem to imply that there wouldn't be clear delineations between what is the right decision and what is the good decision and the bad decision. We're not
Mhm.
doing that, infamous style or that Mass Effect style of decision making anymore. And I think that's awesome because it's more complex decisions. The world is gray. Let's go. And that's something that I really like about The Witcher. That there are not, there's, some decisions, lean good or lean bad, but there's no like right decision that you should do.
Yeah.
I really like what I saw. I showed it off to my partner. She was very excited about it. And just like being like, oh, I can buy the bakery and I can run the bakery was very, very exciting. But, we love, we've been playing Tavern Keeper, which is a tavern, managing sim. So we love stuff like that. And the whole fairy tale aesthetic, killer. I love the beanstalks
Yeah.
everywhere. Loved it, loved it.
The
So,
the comparison to Hogwarts Legacy, I think that you made is very, it feels spot on. Like this feels like a game within that same sort of world, even down to the combat, to where you're like, you know, blipping around in some instances. There was I saw a bit earlier from the trailer where he turns someone, or the hero turns someone into a chicken and then casts fireball on someone else, and it explodes. The fire hits the chicken, and what's left is like a little roast chicken on the ground, which I think is just a cool little like added
yeah.
effect of that diegetic, like, you can start fires or you can cook literal meat and it's there for you. Um, yeah, no, I'm really excited to see where this one goes. As this is like probably one of the games that a, I don't want to get too excited about anything that's like that far out, but this is the
Yeah.
one where I'm like, ooh, yeah, this one's exciting. Damn. Yeah.
I'm super stoked for it. I do have two big grains of salt in my mouth about it. And that is,
Mhm.
one, Fable has made gigantic promises before. I will
Yeah.
say that Peter Molyneux is no longer working on this game, and so that does
Yeah.
give me some relief. But it may not have all been Molyneux's fault. So, but
Yeah.
we will see. So they've made big promises before. I do want to be cautiously optimistic about it. And then the other thing I will note is it definitely felt like for this demo that they were showing us that they had turned God mode on, and they had definitely like
Mhm.
throttled things of like, oh, I can go buy this bar because I have 100,000 gold. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
guessing you're not going to start the game with 100,000 gold, like, and stuff like that. And then I did notice in the blacksmithing animation, it's like you can go blacksmith, and he got like $6,000 or 6,000 gold for
Yeah.
blacksmithing for like 30 seconds. And I was like, those aren't the real numbers. Like, there's no way.
That doesn't seem. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way those are the real numbers. So,
That's like
um,
200 hours in Skyrim level of money for
yes,
blacksmithing, you know.
exactly. All right. Shall we move right along to PlayStation?
Let's dive on over there.
All right, all right. Well, we've got Wolverine. That was the first thing that kicked things off in Sony's State of Play before the Summer Games Fest. I mean, just an impressive showing.
Yeah.
I did come away from it feeling a little weird, um, in that I don't know how to say this, but just like I knew that the game was going to be linear. I knew that. But like the set piece seemed freaking awesome. But I guess I'm having this fear that once I play through Wolverine one time, I may not necessarily want to play through it again, even if I enjoy the
Yeah.
experience. As awesome as everything that they were showing was, and we got the look at the different characters and the healing factor and the combat system a bit. But yeah, I would say this was probably, it wasn't a disappointment by any means, but it was, I got a little less excited about it, which is not the reaction I was expecting to have. How did you feel about it?
I yeah, no, I think I'm like in a similar space where I love Spider-Man because I can just swing around.
Hmm.
Years after playing Spider-Man, I will pop back in and just swing around because it's so much fun. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to have that in Wolverine in that sense. I
Hmm.
bet you there will be some really cool combat things that you can like jump back in and do. Just to tie it a little bit to the James Bond game, which I want to talk about, but through the busyness of the wedding, I couldn't put anything together.
Hmm.
The Some of the best parts in that game are the combat, and there are like combat trials that you just do that part of it and like a
Right.
free open reign in a mission where you're not bogged down by story. And that would be a really cool thing to see a Wolverine like fighting 30 dudes like wave after wave, and if the combat feels really really good and crisp, uh, that would be cool. Or even getting to replay levels without all of the like cinematics and stuff, just like
Yeah,
doing
like a
wild stuff.
have a situation
Yeah.
where it's a mission select or like an Arkham Knight style of challenges, stuff like that would be cool.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's similarly like I'm gonna get the James Bond game as well, but like I know I'm like, all right, I'll probably play through this like once or twice, and that'll be the end of it, and maybe that's fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess did you like the look of the combat? Do you like where the story's going? They kind of set up that the
Yeah.
X-Men don't exist in this universe, or at least don't exist yet. So I don't know. Is that an interesting uh, place
I
to
get.
be?
Did they say anything about that specific? Because I felt like maybe I got the impression that they almost used to and then don't anymore or something. But uh, it definitely feels like the X-Men aren't like a big thing here. You know?
They specifically said the X-Men do not exist. So
Okay.
that could mean that they did at one time and now they've been disbanded, or it could mean like this is how the X-Men get established in this. They did
Wait.
confirm that it is the same universe as Spider-Man, the Spider-Man games,
Very cool.
but
Mhm.
it is not their Spider-Man will not make an appearance in this game. So
That makes
obviously the
sense.
confirmed characters we have are Sabretooth. We saw Mystique in trailers
Mhm.
before. The big reveal in this gameplay trailer was Jean Grey was there, which was awesome. I like how they made her powers purple instead of red, which I'm sure they'll play with if they get into that whole storyline. So yeah, but
Well, yeah. I
I'm real.
think it's very special timing because the new it's all about confirming the new Spider-Man movie that we'll be seeing Jean Grey. Like I think they're trying to really Jean Grey is Marvel's really putting her forward, and I think the purple sort of like mind thing is excellent stuff there. And I think this that's a good place to put Wolverine to where he is not necessarily locked down by the X-Men. And you
Mhm.
always hear about Wolverine that he's got like this sordid past and he's like really he's a bad mofo. So it'll be cool to see Wolverine during that time when he's like, yeah, I used to rip dudes in half for fun. Like it's I do find it weird for him to have a costume and not be part
Yeah,
of the X-Men, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, it is like the yellow costume.
Hmm.
But still, it is a bit weird. So I'm sure things will get explained to us as we play it. And like, it's Insomniac. I absolutely love Insomniac. I'm gonna get it.
Hmm.
So my little criticisms and whatnot don't matter because I'm gonna buy it. So is this a
Trying to
day
figure out
one?
when the game. Oh, September 15th. So we
Yeah, it's
only have
soon.
like what 3 months.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
ready
yeah,
for it.
very soon. All the other games we talked about have been like, oh well, next year, and this one's like, nope. Well, I guess Gears of War is going to be coming out this year as well, so
Oh,
that's
good.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, are you going to buy this day one? Oh, excuse me.
Oh yeah. I'm so. Oh yeah. No, I'm so in on uh the Insomniac world, and I love Wolverine. Like, give me all the stuff you can. I've just been craving some new Wolverine content that wasn't Hugh Jackman related, and I hate to say that like in a hater sort of way, but like give me like a new rich version of the character that I can like really dig my claws into, pun
Yeah.
intended.
Yeah, I also I'm happy they have this actor and they're giving him a different look. I completely agree. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but it's like we've recast all these other characters and we can't let go of Hugh Jackman. Even with the
Yeah.
in the Deadpool movie, I was kind of like, Hugh's getting older and he's in amazing shape and is a hard worker and a great actor and I love him. But it's okay if somebody else is Wolverine. It's okay.
E- Even for his sake, like let the poor man have a burger. He has been eating nothing
Yeah.
but boiled chicken and rice and doing 1,000 push-ups every day. Let Hugh rest. Let him just sing some musical songs and chill.
Absolutely. All right. Let's get into Sony's other big announcement, which was God of War Laufey. This is my headliner for the whole Summer Games Fest for me. I understand, like, they in the Fable showing, they went into a lot of detail of like explaining things and walking you through interactivity with things you can use in the environment, but just a pure cinematic presentation and experience that was God of War Laufey. I was blown away. I was blown away by the gameplay. I was blown away by the design. I was blown away by the concept. I this was like a 10 out of 10 for me. And any haters online that are like, you're not playing as Kratos, I'm like, shut up, dude. You're not. I can't stand
Well,
it. Like,
it's always funny to me. I really, it's annoying that it's the fake fans who are always like, taking their culture war a bullpucky into our games, because they're
mhm.
like, I don't want to play as this woman. What's she doing? If you played the games, hey
Yeah.
buddy, if you played the games, you'd know that Kratos is like, my wife could beat my ass on the regular. I was doing the cooking and the cleaning for her. Uh,
Yeah.
she could whoop me up and down all of Asgard. So I mean, and we see that in the trailer. Like, she is badass.
Hmm.
Uh, I listen. I love the God of War games. I'm very excited about this. I like kind of pushed it out of my head and my heart, because I feel a little like not nervous. I'm just afraid that it might be like a little too walkie-talkie. Like, I want more of that combat. I want the game and the story. Even what we saw, there was just a lot of like exposition that I'm glad we got. But I know we're gonna need a lot to lift that concept.
Hmm.
Um, and I just hope that there isn't too much of a heavy lift and focus on the story stuff, which I think will all be very, very good. But the gameplay is what matters, and that's like, her sword looks so cool, her new combat style looks so cool. I just am I'm stoked for all of that, and I am a little, I don't know. There's the one thing that's hard for me is the fact that it's like a storyline that's happening adjacent to our story,
Hmm.
in sort of like the afterlife of the gods.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, there's, I don't want to sound negative, and like, it's not a negative in that I think that
Be
it's
negative. I want to
silly, but I'm just
argue.
like, it's almost like a telling a story about a dream, you know?
Sure.
Uh, yeah,
I would
I just want it
I
to matter.
I would say that under normal circumstances, I would agree with that sentiment where it's like, oh, she's in
Mm,
the afterlife and we're going to see what she's up to. But I would say there are many references, especially in God of War Ragnarok, a few in God of War 2018, where they are talking about the afterlife of the gods. Like,
sure.
Odin's
Mm,
whole motivation in God of War Ragnarok is, I want to know what's beyond, what happens when I die. That's his whole thing. That that's what he's trying to use Atreus for. And so I
sure.
think that I really like the concept because God of War traditionally, and most video games do trilogies, because
Mhm.
that's, classic AAA game style thing that you do. But they stopped the Norse era, or the Norse genre, I guess, of God of War with Ragnarok just doing two games. And I think that was the right decision. I think they had to cut some
Oh yeah.
gods out and other things out just for time, but I think that was the right decision in not trying to stretch things, but having another game that's still connected to that storyline of, this is Kratos' wife and Atreus' mother, and this is the guardian of the giants who fought Thor and is clearly a bona fide warrior. Being
Mhm.
able to, like, okay, this is a parallel story, and that could open up. And I think that that's really the possibility that I see, where when they brought in the Mongolian and the Egyptian gods of wars, in that, okay, we can get a bigger glimpse of this universe. And if they're showing First, oh my god, the Mongolian god of war, his design, oh my god, Phil,
Yeah.
he's like a dragon man. Like just like looked like you can make a dragon person in Baldur's Gate 3, but he ain't gonna look that good.
Sure.
Like
I the giant like cat creature
yeah, the
that seems like part of
six-legged
the
tiger or
background, and
whatever.
yeah, and then just like moves so seamlessly. I listen, their ability to sort of take uh fictional things like that, or legendary mythical things, and make them look badass and cool, and at the same time like mythical, always going to be great. And I'm excited about all of it. I think even the talking sword, cool concept. The talking gelatinous cube, I'm also down
Yeah,
for that because I like a little bit of silly, you know.
yeah,
Um, I'm just, I it's not that I even need the God of War games to be super serious or anything like that. I'm just interested to see where this goes. Um, I mean, if we're working back towards like a sort of like happy family reunion in the concept of the game, excellent. One of my favorite bits that I've seen, though, well, actually two different things that are great, is the what is his name? It's not Balder. The God of War from Ragnarok, the Norse God of War, is talking to Atreus, and he's like, what's the afterlife like? Is my
mhm.
mom resting?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, she's chilling." And then it cuts over to her fighting for her life,
Yeah.
just bare like screaming and stabbing dudes.
Mhm.
Uh, but there's also a really cool bit where when Kratos appears to Freya at a point in the trailer,
Yeah.
it's almost the exact same amount of time that when he dies in God of War Ragnarok, and then
Mhm.
gets brought back by Thor,
Mhm.
like sort of resuscitating with lightning. It's like the
Yeah,
same amount of time.
I've
Pretty cool.
seen those cuts. I do want to believe that,
Mhm.
but I've also seen like, oh, when the Egyptian god of war Ra, when she sees the telescope light up, it's Kratos blowing the Ragnarok horn, and my
Oh
only
yeah.
thing with that is if we're going for the exact time beats, which it can't be, but
Mm.
if we're going for the ballpark time beats, um, she her body just burned in God of War 2018, and this is
Hmm.
20 minutes later. So
I
they're not there
I'll
yet.
give it to them that time could be different in the afterlife. Time could be like, the events are happening out of sync. But uh, either way, I'm excited for that game. With some slight trepidations, but they are very slight.
Yeah, but yeah, I like I will say, you mentioned reunion,
Mm-hmm.
possibility for a reunion. Kratos does say in that trailer, "Find your way home,"
Mm-hmm.
and that is what he says to her body when they burn her.
Yeah.
And she seems like, when she like wakes up, that after she realizes she's died, she's like, oh, okay, but I have the right clothes on, which means Kratos did
Mm-hmm.
what I told him to do. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole,
Oh, she has a plan.
yeah, she has a plan, and the whole preparation of this very specific funeral of like, it has to be
Mm-hmm.
these exact marked trees and everything like that. And so I'm guessing that she knew she was going to die or whatever, and they had like a protocol of, this is what we are doing if that happens. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that it fits within the story fantastically. I think the gameplay looks incredible. I like that they brought back the old God of War style of like, launching people into the air and doing combos midair, similar like how Spider-Man does in the Insomniac games. I will say I could use a little magical animation when she's just magically floating in the air instead of just being some floaty video game character. So just some sparkles to show me that she's making that happen or something. I would appreciate that. But yeah, I like that because it returns back to the original trilogy gameplay style a bit. And the weapons seem cool. I don't know if I need Huey Campbell as a cosmic cube, but I think they are trying to expand the universe, and got to have some levity. So
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah.
very D&D, which is interesting. That's a fun mix to
Well,
go
they
down.
cast the right person then. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So we covered, all right, we covered Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Gears of War Ide,
Mm.
Fable, Wolverine, and God of War Laufey. All big heavy hitters from all big companies. Were there any honorable mentions or shout outs that you want to talk about, Phil, before we wrap things up for this week?
Honestly, I mean, those were the biggest things for me.
Sure. Well,
Let
I'll
me
here.
see
You think
here.
about it for a
Yeah.
second, and I wanna shout something out. I want to shout out Star
Mm.
Wars Galactic Racer, and I want to shout out Star Wars Zero Company.
Uh,
Specifically, not
oh
because
yeah.
like I want to just celebrate that Star Wars games are back. Star Wars games are a huge part of why I love Star Wars, not just the movies, but I grew up with, Star Wars, like Star Wars Jedi Academy and whatnot, and lots of old, old Star Wars games. And so the fact that I feel like Star Wars games as a genre is coming back and we're not
Are
just
back.
getting like one every couple of years is awesome. And they're taking like Zero Company. Yeah, did I really need an XCOM Star Wars game? Probably not, but I don't know. It looks like it could be kind of fun. And Galactic Racer,
I'm so stoked about that game, but
which one?
I will
Zero
tell you more
Company?
in a sec. Zero Company.
Tell me
It's
now.
XCOM with lightsabers and Jedi, and it looks like the characters can kind of die and come back, and like it looks like there's a permadeath thing to it,
Yes.
which is what I love about those types of
Hmm.
games. If that's the way we're getting into XCOM, I'm here for it.
Yeah. So I'll probably wait for, it's coming out in August. It's really soon, August
Yeah,
27th.
that one's coming out soon.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that, but I'm probably more excited for Star Wars Galactic Racer. And we've talked about this game a little bit before. You don't really get a lot of arcadey racing games like this very often. You get a lot of racing games with some arcadey modes, like the newest Forza that came out. But like seeing Star Wars Galactic Racer, having it be racer, not just pod racers, is awesome. I'm I'm really excited for it. I'm a little nervous because I feel like they really haven't disclosed any features other than there's a campaign, but like I need a little bit more than a campaign. Like is there online play? Are there tournaments that you can do? Is there vehicle customization? Where are we going? So but yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to both of those Star Wars games. Very excited and was happy to see more of them at the Summer Games Fest. What about you, Phil?
Okay, yeah. So for me, one of the big hits obviously was that Star Wars Zero Company game. I'm very excited about that, just
Mm-hmm.
because more XCOM, and that's coming soon, which is one of
Yes.
my favorite things.
Yes.
Um, the things that I'm like, should be excited about there's a new Fire Emblem. Okay, great. Uh, um, Exodus, we saw a little bit more Exodus gameplay. That is
Yep.
the Mass Effect like game made by the D&D company, which I believe technically was just the Coast.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a little bit more of Halo or Campaign Evolved, which
Yeah.
seems
Third
like
person.
there's third person. Part of me is really excited about that. I don't know which part exactly, but he's there. Oh, you know what? Rayman Legends Retold.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Rayman Legends. Really great third person action game. Uh, oh, okay. Also, The Last Ronin. We got a little bit of a TMNT The
Yes.
Last Ronin gameplay, or not gameplay. Um, Pretty much a title trailer, but it's just
Mhm.
cool to know this game is going forward with the people working on it. So, yeah,
Yeah. Fantastic.
that's my list.
Yeah, and there's so many other games that we didn't even mention. So over the
Mhm.
next couple weeks, we're probably going to do some deep dives into some of the other games and announcements that have been in Summer Games Fest. Because I know after Summer Games Fest, the news kind of dries up a little bit. I did see that there was a Helldivers update, so that's fun. Some new FRVs, the Jeeps that you can drive around, have been released into the game. So if you're playing Helldivers, be sure to check that out. But yeah. Oh, also, I want to say I thought Crossfire looked really good. Like, I'm not a big military shooter guy, but
Mhm.
Crossfire looked really good. I loved the animations. I was referencing it when we were talking about Gears of War E-Day earlier. The like being able to stay undercover, and because not in real life, not all cover is giant rectangles. So you
Yeah.
need to be able to like move around. So I was really impressed with that, and it's not often that a military shooter pulls me in cinematically the way that that one did. So little shout out there. All right. Well, we are going to be back next week, I promise, and we will have more to talk about then, including any leftover Summer Games Fest things. Do you have any plans? Are you planning to beat the 007 game this week, Phil?
I would like to say that I will, but I know I've got a couple things keeping me busy this weekend. The new Marvel Magic the Gathering set is coming out this weekend, so I'm doing
Oh, is this a commander deck?
some. So it's a whole set. So basically, there are 4 commander decks coming out: Black Panther, Doctor Doom, Fantastic Four, and a Captain America Avengers deck, and then like a bunch of cards around that. So I'll be doing something called a pre-release draft, where you get 6 packs, you make a deck, and you play it against other people. Um, but yeah, so that'll be a lot of the gaming I'm doing this weekend. However, I am going to try to get on Steam Next Fest because there's so much good stuff on there. Valor Mortis. Sorry, I shouldn't be talking about war games, but
No, you're fine.
there's a game called Impulse that looks like sort of a spiritual successor to. It's one of my favorite games. It's got the mechs. You're running around. You're shooting. It's made by former Call of Duty devs.
Titanfall.
Titanfall.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's like a parkour mech shooting game. Valor Mortis is a first-person game that you can download a demo for this right now and play it. First-person game kind of feels like a Souls-like meets Bioshock.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be just trying a bunch of stuff from Steam Next Fest because it all looks so good.
Right on. Yeah. And the Steam Summer Sale is coming up as well, starting on June 25th. For people who are excited about that. So if you're thinking about buying something on Steam, maybe wait like one more week, because it's probably going to be on sale. Although I did hear that Steam added an update to its interface that if you try to buy a game, it will warn you that it's going to go on sale soon. So that's a cool feature. Thank you, Valve, for doing something not greedy.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. All right. We're going to peace out for now, but thank you for listening to the GGG podcast. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to our YouTube page, we'd really appreciate if you did so. And if you're listening to the audio only version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, follow us over there as well. I'll see you next week, Phil.
I'll see you next week, Paul.
Bye.
Peace.